Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from 6 PBA-A2. In this subject, we are from 7 group that consists of me, Luluan Mansuro, and my friend Axel Jilham Heta. In this occasion, we want to briefly explain about our material today in the subject Introduction to Second Language Acquisition, and our topic today is about linguistic aspect of interlanguage. Our submaterial consists of typological universals, relative clauses, and the second, universal grammar, the third, learnability, the fourth, the critical period hypothesis, the fifth, access to UG or universal grammar, the sixth, markedness, and the last, cognitive versus linguistic explanation. Before we start explain about our material, so we have to know what the definition of interlanguage. Interlanguage is a language discussion that refers to language system outside the B1 system and its position is between B1 and B2. Jadi, interlanguage adalah suatu bahasa yang mengacu pada sistem bahasa di luar sistem B1 dan posisinya berada di antara B1 dan B2. And then the first is typological universal relative clauses. A good example of how linguistic inquiry can shed light on interlanguage development can be found in the study of relative clauses. Jadi, sebuah contoh yang baik tentang bagaimana penyelidikan linguistik atau analisis linguistik itu dapat menjelaskan perkembangan antar bahasa dan dapat ditemukan dalam studi relative clauses. In language like English, a relative clause can be attached to the end of a matter clause. For example, the police have caught the man who bombed the hotel. Or can in the main clause, the man who bombed the hotel has been caught by the police. Jadi dalam bahasa seperti bahasa Inggris, relative clause itu dapat ditaruh ke akhir klausa matriks. Contohnya, the police have caught the man who bombed the hotel. Artinya, polisi telah menangkap seorang pria yang mengebom hotel. Atau dalam bahasa main clause, dalam klausa, itu bisa dikatakan, the man who bombed the hotel has been caught by the police. Jadi, orang yang mengebom hotel itu sudah ditangkap oleh polisi. When learners of L2 English begin to acquire relative clauses, they typically begin with the type first. Thus, the linguistic structure of English influence how acquisition proceeds. Jadi, ketika pembelajar bahasa Inggris L2 itu mulai memperoleh klausa relatif, maka mereka biasanya mulai dengan jenisnya dulu. Dengan demikian, struktur linguistik bahasa Inggris mempengaruhi bagaimana akuisisinya berlangsung. A third effect of relative clause structure on L2 acquisition can be identified. In this case, linguistics have shown that languages are more likely to permit relative clause with a subject pronoun. In fact, a hierarchy of relativization known as the accessibility hierarchy has been identified, and the accessibility hierarchy is implicational in the sense that the presence of a relative pronoun function low in the order in a particular language implies the presence of all the pronoun function above it but not those below it. Jadi, efek ketiga dari struktur klausa relatif pada L2 acquisition itu dapat diidentifikasi. Nah, hierarki aksesibilitas berimplikasi pada arti bahwa kehadiran fungsi kata ganti relatif rendah dalam urutan bahasa tertentu. Here are the example of relative pronoun function. The first, there is subject as relative pronoun function. For example, the writer who won the Booker Prize is my lifelong friend. And the second, the direct object as relative pronoun function. The example, the writer whom we met won the Booker Prize. The third, indirect object as relative pronoun function. The example, the writer to whom I introduced you won the Booker Prize. The fourth, object of preposition as relative pronoun function. For example, the writer with whom we had dinner won the Booker Prize. The fifth, genitive as relative pronoun function. The example, the writer whose wife we met won the Booker Prize. And the last, object of comparative as relative pronoun function. The example, the writer who I have written more books that has won the Booker Prize. The next is universal grammar. SLA also owes a considerable debt to another branch of linguistics that associated closely with Noam Chomsky's theory of universal grammar of RUG. Chomsky argues that language is governed by a set of highly abstract principles that provide parameters which are given particular setting in different language. Jadi, Chomsky ini tuh berpendapat bahwa bahasa diatur oleh seperangkat prinsip yang sangat abstrak, yang memberikan parameter yang diberikan pengaturan tertentu dalam bahasa Inggris. For example, a general principle of language is that it permits co-reference by means of some form of relative. Thus, in the English sentence, the example sentence is, the actress blamed herself. So, in this sentence, the subject actress is co-referential and the word herself is reflexive. Thus, in the sense that both words refers to the same person. Jadi, contoh di sini, aktris itu menjadi koreferensial dan herself itu menjadi refleksif karena kedua kata tersebut itu merujuk pada satu orang yang sama. In the case of English, a reflexive can only co-refer to a subject within the same clause. English only permits local binding and long-distance binding, where the reflexive co-refers to a subject in another clause is prohibited. Jadi, refleksif itu hanya dapat menjadi co-refer untuk sebuah subjek dengan klausa yang sama. Kemudian, bahasa Inggris itu hanya mengizinkan atau memperbolehkan local binding, sedangkan long distance binding itu tidak diperbolehkan. Long distance binding ini contohnya di mana reflexive co-refers itu merujuk kepada subjek pada klausa yang lainnya. Nah, itu dilarang. The third is learnability. Children that learning their L1 must rely on innate knowledge of language, because otherwise the task facing them is an impossible one. The input to which children are exposed is insufficient to enable them to discover the rules of the language they are trying to learn. Jadi ketika seorang pembelajar bahasa Inggris itu mulai memperoleh klausa relatif, mereka biasanya mulai dengan jenis yang dahulu. Dengan demikian, struktur linguistik bahasa Inggris mempengaruhi bagaimana akuisisi berlangsung. For example, a child learning English need to discover that sentences like this are ungrammatical. Misalnya, jadi seorang pembelajar bahasa Inggris itu tuh harus mengetahui bahwa kalimat yang akan saya sebutkan ini itu tidak termasuk dalam grammar bahasa Inggris. For example, Sam kicked fiercely his toy car. Because English does not permit an adverb between the verb and direct object. Jadi kata di atas tersebut itu termasuk ungrammatical karena di dalam bahasa Inggris itu tidak memperbolehkan adanya suatu adverb di antara the verb and direct object. In the case of L1 acquisition, according to Chomsky, is that children must have prior knowledge of what is grammatically possible and impossible, and that is the part of their biological endowment. This knowledge, which in earlier formulation of the theory was referred to as the language acquisition device, is what comprised universal grammar or UG. The fourth is the critical period hypothesis. The critical period hypothesis states that there is a period during which language acquisition is easy and complete, and beyond which it is difficult and typically incomplete. There is some evidence that not all learners are subject to critical periods. Some are able to achieve native speaker ability from an adult start. However, the lack of success of most L2 learners in comparison to L1 learners suggests that there may be radical differences in the way first and second language are required.
The next is number 5. Number 5 is access to UG. The first one about theoretical position, and in theoretical position there are 4 points, and the first is complete access. It's argued that learners began to parameter setting or the L1 but subsequently learn to switch to the L2 parameter setting. And number 2 is no access. UG is not available to adult L2 learners. Number 3, partial access. Learners have access to part of UG but not others. Number 4 is dual access. Adult L2 learners make up of both UG and general learning strategies. Number 6 is about markedness. And markedness is a phenomenon in some language is more marked than B. The presence of A in language implies the presence of B, but the presence of B does not imply the presence of A. Markedness is a concept from the study of the sound systems of all natural languages. A marked feature in a language implies the necessary presence of another language. And the last is number 7, cognitive versus linguistic explanation. Are the linguistic explanation alternative to the psycholinguistic explanation or the complementary? It depends on the whether linguistic universals and markedness are seen as exerting a direct effect on L2 acquisition, or whether they are seen as having only an indirect effect mediated by psychologistic mechanism of the kind considered earlier. Thank you.